Hey everybody, welcome to the newest episode of Capital Combat. The name says it all. I'm Hakeem Branch.
I'm Rob Jarrell.
And today we're going to recap the HBO triple header which happened on November 9th, which had Donell Darchinyan, and had Demetrius Andrade and Vanes Martirosyan, and it had Mikey Garcia and Rocky Martinez. And then we're going to preview the Andre Ward-Edwin Rodriguez fight, which is going to happen this Saturday, November 16th.
That's right.
So we're going to start off with the opening fight of last week's card, which was Vanes Martirosyan versus Demetrius Andrade for the vacant WBO title. And this fight pretty much went the way that we called it in our preview video, which you can see right here. So we're not going to really go into it that much. Rob's just going to touch on the scorecards a little bit.
Okay, so this fight was between two undefeated 154-pounders, Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade versus Vanes the Nightmare Martirosyan, and yes, Boo Boo. He's a fighter. He's fast. He showed it in the fight, and he showed great technical skills. To us, he pretty much dominated the fight. I mean, he showed great skills, great speed, and he had some stopping power because he made Martirosyan think twice on a lot of the exchanges. But aside from the knockdown that he suffered from Martirosyan, from a if I'm not mistaken, that was from a left hook.
Yeah, he ran in and caught him with a left.
I mean, it was a good left hook, but he was very wild. The only thing that I could see him really connecting beside that left hook was when he countered with a straight right hand. But aside from that, I mean, he just did not have the footwork and the ring generalship that Andrade had. I mean, Andrade kept turning him every time he stepped in or tried to throw that right hand. So, hats off to Andrade. I mean, he really took a big step up. This was his stiffest competition to date, and I think he's ready for the big leagues after this fight. So, this was his way into the top 10 at 154 pounds. Be on the lookout for him because he's going to make a lot of noise.
About the scorecards.
Okay, the scorecards was bullshit. Somehow, aside from one judge, they found to give Martirosyan 4 out of the first 5 rounds. Aside from that first round, I would have given it to Andrade. Martirosyan really didn't show much. I think he was just outclassed in this fight.
Yeah. Like Rob said, there was no way that we could see Martirosyan winning the fight, much less more than like 3 or 4 rounds. So let's move on to Donell Darchinyan, which in our preview video, right there, we thought that Donell would pull out the knockout in about the 8th or 9th round, which he did, but we thought that he would dominate the fight up to that point, which he didn't. And honestly, got a little mixed feelings about this because, like I said in the last video, I'm a big fan of Big Darchinyan. I really like his style. Like, he's one of the few people that comes forward off the back foot, so like his left hand brings a lot of power with it, and he just has like this weird swagger and arrogance to him that's just like, you just gotta like it. I mean, he
believes in him.
Right.
It doesn't matter who you are. Even in the loss, he's like, wait a minute, son. I won. You got knocked out. I don't know what you're talking about. Whatever.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta love the guy. I mean, he comes, he brings it, and this time he was a little more measured in his approach, and he landed a lot of hard left hands on Donell. Donell looked unsure of himself a lot of times in this fight, but that left hook bailed him out again. Well, I shouldn't say bailed him out again because the first time he was pretty much dominating the fight and then took him out. This time he had to pull victory from the jaws of defeat because the judges had Donell rightfully behind big time in this one.
Well, I mean, I saw Darchinyan again. He was his defense was much tighter. He was looking out for the left, which when it connected did do damage. It just didn't connect enough for Donell to like win him rounds.
Right.
So I mean, Darchinyan really came in, he showed a lot of new wrinkles to the game, or tighten up what he already had.
Yeah.
And I think in the division, aside from Donaire and Rigondeaux, I can see him beating anyone else in that division.
Well, they actually fought at featherweight, which is a division above Rigondeaux. I think Donaire wants to drop back down to fight Rigondeaux. I don't think it's a good idea at this point, because a lot of the things that we talked about, like in our pound for pound video, about the good things Donaire does and the things he did in that last fight with Darchinyan, he hasn't been doing lately, which is setting up his punches, using his jab effectively, using his footwork and angles to set up his offense instead of just going out there and winging left hooks.
Something tells me it's something mentally going on there. He didn't really seem in the Donaire shit that he was in 2012 when he was just tearing through the divisions. I mean, he doesn't have the most chiseled body, but I've seen him look better. Yeah. I don't know if that comes with not training as much. I mean, he does have an infant son, recently born, and you know, he might have changed his focus, but if he really wants to end his career on a note and kind of set up his legacy and set up his bank account, he really needs to dig deep and try to make this last run or last few runs the best as he can, because there's still money to be made in that division. He still, to me, has a rival in Rigondeaux, even though I think just him, Rigondeaux, and that style alone, it will cause him problems. But if he's not at his best, then he is not going to beat Rigondeaux. He's not going to beat Rigo at all if he's coming lazy like he said he did. And he did provide some excuses, you know, the shoulder, I didn't get to train with Garcia until like the last week or so. I mean, you can't have that with a guy with Rigondeaux at all.
Yeah, that's true. So let's move on to the main event of that card, which was Mikey Garcia, who took the 130-pound title from Rocky Martinez. And this one, I mean, was Garcia all the way, with the exception of an early knockdown.
I mean, the knockdown, I think, surprised Garcia as much as it hurt him. I mean, he didn't look hurt at all. He was just like, holy crap, I think I just took a knee. But at that point, he went to Martinez, and I thought he should have thrown a counter, a feint and an uppercut. Akeem thought he should have threw a body shot. He threw the body shot, called it a night.
Yeah. We were sitting there, I think I was sending a text message or on Facebook or something, and Garcia was just sharpshooting him to the head all night, and I was like, come on, man, just hit him in the body one time. Just give me one body shot. And he finally did it, and we got to go to sleep because I started to get a little tired from watching that, and MMA, and Saturday Night Live. Oh man, there was so much TV and stuff going on. And it was a great night for fights.
That's right.
But we're going to keep it moving. We're going to go into this week's main event, which was Andre S.O.G. Ward versus Edwin Rodriguez. And in this one, we're going to see Andre Ward coming off a 14-month layoff. He just had shoulder surgery on his right shoulder. And if you've ever watched Andre Ward fight before, which I'm sure you have, you might have noticed he really beats people with one arm. Like, he doesn't really throw that right hand a lot. He does a lot of hooking off his jab. He does a lot of jabbing, a lot of lead hooks, and occasionally he throws a right hand, and people really aren't expecting it. It lands pretty decently. But now with his shoulder maybe being healed 100%, he might throw it a lot more, which is trouble for those guys that he's fighting, because he was dominating people with just that left hand.
All right, let's face it. This fight is a showcase fight for Andre Ward. It's on HBO. He needed an opponent. He pretty much beat everyone in the division, aside from Andre Durrell and
Butte.
And Lucian Butte, who to me is afraid to fight him anyway. He's at 175. We're fighting at catchweight versus Jean Pascal soon. So that's neither here nor there. But Rodriguez, who is undefeated, doesn't really show much that can challenge Ward. I mean, he has power, but he just doesn't have the skills. He wings his shots, and he tries to get as much leverage as he can with that. And all I can see is Andre Ward crowding him and never letting him get off. If Rodriguez throws a punch, I mean, he's either going to miss or it's going to be glance off the guard. So Andre Ward's probably either going to muscle him or outbox him. And this is for the belt.
Yeah, it's for Andre Ward's titles.
It's going to be a late stoppage unless Ward is trying to prove a point.
Yeah.
He could be trying to prove a point because he wants those big fights now. It's kind of hard to have big fights when you're number one and either everyone's making excuses, they don't want to come to the States, or they're just plain scared.
Yeah. So, we'll find out on Saturday night. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you share this video with your friends and subscribe.
And check out the Facebook page at Capital of Combat. Of course, search it on Facebook. You'll see our faces. Don't quite have a logo, but we do have all our videos up. We do updates all the time on boxing news that we see, interesting articles, and just to give our observations during the fight. So check it out, like the page, send us questions, send us comments. We'd love to respond. We'd love to talk to you all. Look to hear from you.
All right? Peace.
This is round one, and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming and cost. My fists are on fire. I perform till I perspire. My demons are in a rage. Keep thinking that it's a game. I kick rhyme, hurricane. I told them I don't play. I'm liquid.
Black Street Fighter.